So, as Exile Tibetans cast their vote for the 18th Tibetan Parliament in exile, so what challenges did the Central Election Commission face while organizing the final phase of election, and what positive outcomes do you hope from this election?
I would first rather talk about the strength that CTA has, the infrastructure, the willingness of the people, the officials and involvement in conducting a successful election for the past 6 decades. So that's a huge success in the exile community that they have been conducting these elections democratically, free and fair for the last several decades. Yes, we have shortcomings. We have a lot of restrictions and limitations, and maybe in election rules and regulation, maybe from the dedication or participation from the public in certain quarter, and maybe because of ours is only a unique election in the sense that we are conducted in 27 countries, even without having official kind of offices in all these countries. So I think in future we may have more Office of Tibet, more representations from abroad, whereby we can conduct more coordinated kind of election, and we can, if possible, have major participation from the voters and increase the percentage of the voters turnout in future. That's what we still need to work out.
China recently condemned the result of the prelim election. So a country that is undemocratic, where election does not take place, what comment would you like to send to the Chinese leadership? And also, what message would you like to send to the Tibetans inside Tibet who are not able to participate in this democratic process?
China's narrative and rhetoric against the Tibetan administration and His Holiness the Dalai Lama is not new. Despite forcibly, brutally occupying Tibet, they are hell-bent on proving to the world and asserting again and again that Tibet belongs to them. So the very need to respond again and again, and very need to observe what we are doing here in exile symbolizes the fear and apprehension that they have regarding the revelation of the truth, to the world. So it's not new. And the country and the government, which is one-party system, which doesn't have a democratic ethics and any freedom amongst the member itself, and who doesn't and haven't conducted any democratic election as for the last 80 years or 100 years. They don't have the, legitimacy and the power to talk about election or democracy as such. So we have been very successful in our democratic setup because of the guidance and blessings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Tibetans all over the world are doing their best. And yes, we are in exile community. We have limitations and restrictions, infrastructure-wise, and the official, the people who are involved with this election, definitely. But things will go up, and we hope that through this election, China gets response that we haven't given up, and we are going to continue despite your propaganda and misinformations.
Kumula, you just said that we have been very successful in conducting elections over the past few years, but I would like to point out to the recent decision that was taken regarding Nepal's Choejor Tibetan settlement office.
And on that, I think we have said no comments.
Why are you so reluctant to comment on this issue?
Because
what is taking you
the
back?
greater part is more important. That is the election that is happening here.
Because the media personals were expecting a press conference on this issue, which you did not hold, of course. But then, can there at least be a transparency in how the decision was taken?
Definitely.
So
definitely.
We can definitely expect a press conference for you in the coming weeks.
If you think a need arises, because we dictate how to conduct, isn't it? Because we are answerable to the public. So if we feel the need that there should be a press conference, a detailed, comprehensive explanation, we will surely do that. But first, let's get this election going, successfully.
Personally, what I think, so first reason for me to come out is to really perform my duty but also, get my right of choosing my representative. So I come from the Dete Choga, so I have the right to choose my 10 people. So I feel these 10 people that I voted for are going to represent me the best, or at least my Choga. And then beyond that, also thinking of just not only my Choga, but then also across the Tibetan community. Are they capable enough to, bring out bill or vote for bill or ask and, questions to the administration, the executive, but that also represent the Tibetan community at large across the globe, in India, across the world. So, I'm looking for people, my right to choose that 10 people who can best do that kind of a job. So that's what I'm looking for a leader, in a linear leader, right? And then looking at the elections, so why the elections are happening, it's part of the democracy, and why is democracy so important for us Tibetans? We are in exile, a small community, but then we've never had democracy before in Tibet. His Holiness gifted this democracy to us. Everybody knows that, but we are in exile. One day we will go back, and then we will have a democratic system, a democratic setup. Look at the world right now. Authoritarian regimes are really growing, and sentiments are changing. People are actually looking at democracy and saying democracy is weak. But when you look at the way democracy is structured, technically, it's always it's for the people. Yeah. And what His Holiness has always said is, and what a religion preaches is really interdependency, and being dependent on each other and thinking of each other. I think that's the strength of democracy. And then democracy, a democratic setup in exile for Tibetans. I don't think there's anything more beautiful than that. So that's why I want to be a part of this very beautiful democratic system setup. Yeah.
And so as you casted your vote today, looking ahead, what are your hopes from the leaders that you elected today? Expectations from the leaders? Yeah, so
at least the 10 people that I voted for, I expect them to be really honest in the parliament, ask those really nasty questions that you're supposed to ask as a representative, but then going beyond that to really represent Tibet across the world, across India. And then, look at the situation that we are in right now. And, I think the situation is getting only more, not negative, but then more worrisome for us Tibetans, with the aging of His Holiness. Most of the friends of Tibet are also aging, and His Holiness is not traveling internationally. So who's going to fill that gap? The Kashak, the Sikyong is trying a lot. These MPs and representatives, they also have to try. So I think I need someone like that who can really represent Tibet, go out there in the world and do this, speak on our behalf and make more friends and make new friends. So I'm looking for someone like that. But also really feel that duty in the parliament. We have these 2 parliament sessions. So they have to grill the executive. And I really hope the young ones that I voted for today would really not work in this groupism, that culture that we have seen in the parliament, and I hope they think for the larger cause, and maybe they might make a few enemies, but I hope they'll really think for the larger cause and don't mind making a few enemies while they're doing that. Yeah.
Pantasnamla, what motivated you to come out and vote today, and what does voting mean to you personally as a Tibetan living in exile?
Okay. Of course, first of all, to vote in democratic election is our right, and I'm here to exercise my right. And the second thing is, of course, we have a responsibility to participate in the election and to select the best and the most capable leaders. So in the sense that I also have the responsibility to select the right candidate, and that's why I'm here to do my job.
So as you cast your vote for the 18th upcoming Tibetan Parliament members in exile, what are your hopes from the leader that are elected today?
Yeah, my hope, maybe every Tibetan has the same hope, that the new the parliament that we will elect today will lead us to a more united and a more, hard-working team that really works for the movement, for the cause, and not so much, peddling into petty regional issues and work for the cause of Tibet.
And my final question is, do you feel the younger generations are equally engaged in the democratic process of the Central Tibetan administration?
Yes, I think they have the space, there's the avenue to participate in the democratic process, whether it's running for the election or to participate in election. But most important thing is that, not only create the avenue, but the avenue should be conducive for the young generation so that they are not discouraged from participating in the democratic process. Therefore, of course, it is important to have the avenue, but the avenue should be conducive and encouraging for the young generation to take part in the election process.